Follow the link in the video description to go to my website and get the free pattern plus charts. It spells out line by line how to make this beautiful lace choker and how to attach the magnetic clasp. In today's tutorial, I'm using a size B crochet hook, which is 2.75 millimeters, and I'm using Be So Fine yarn, which is a fingering weight bamboo yarn, and this is hand-dyed colorway Jaded Peacock. We're going to start by tying a crochet hook, tying a knot onto the crochet hook in any way you like, and then we're going to start with a chain 6. Slip stitch to the 6th chain from your hook to form a ring. We're going to chain 5, which counts as our first double treble stitch, and we're going to work a 2 double treble cluster in the ring. Yarn over 3 times, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. We now have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over 3 times, insert our hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. We now have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Chain 4, and now we're going to work a 3 double treble cluster in the ring. Yarn over 3 times, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. 2 loops on our hook, yarn over 3 times, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. We now have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over 3 times, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. We now have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on your hook. And that is a 3 double treble cluster. We want to repeat this around until we have 6 petals total. The chain 5 that counted as a double treble plus the 2 double treble cluster counts as our first petal. This would be our second. We need a total of 6, so we're going to chain 4 and work a 3 double treble cluster in the ring 4 more times. Okay, we've got our 6 double treble clusters, and we're going to chain 4 and then slip stitch to the top of the first cluster at the beginning of the round to join, and our first round is done. Set that down so you can see it. Okay, round 2 begins with slip stitch into the first chain 4 space, chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and you're going to work 7 more double crochets in that same chain 4 space. A double crochet is yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the space, yarn over, pull up a loop. You now have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Do that one more time. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now with the chain 3, I have a total of 4. We want to do 4 more. Okay, we're going to skip the cluster and just work 8. We're going to skip all the clusters, and we're just going to work 8 double crochets in each chain 4 space around. Okay, I've got 8 double crochets in each chain 4 space all the way around, and now to join this round we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round, which counted as a double crochet, to join. Okay, we're also going to slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches, chain 4, turn our work, skip 4 stitches, the 2 we slip stitched into and the next 2, and slip stitch into the next 5 stitches. It will be very helpful if you follow the link to read the line-by-line instructions on my free pattern. It'll help you to follow along in the video. Chain 4, we're going to turn our work, and we're going to work a 3 double treble cluster into that chain 4 space we just made. Yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. Yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, through 2. We have to start that one over. Okay, and now we'll do our third leg of the 3 double treble cluster. Yarn over 3 times, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and through 2. And now with all 4 loops on our hook, we'll pull through all 4. Our first cluster is done. We're going to chain 4 and do another cluster. With 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 4, 1 more cluster in the chain 4 space, and redo that third one again. It's really important to hold your tension properly when you're doing these longer stitches. Sometimes you can get carried away with yourself if the tension isn't right, and that's why I've been unable to loop that last pull through 2, because my tension was off. So the best thing to do when that happens is just unravel that portion and start over like I did. Yarn over, pull through all 4. We're going to chain 4, skip the next 2 stitches on the previous round here, skip 2 and slip stitch in each of the next 3. We're going to turn our work and work 8 double crochets in each of the chain 4 spaces. 1, 2, 6, and 8. So we're going to do that in each of the next 3 chain 4 spaces. Okay, we've worked 8 double crochets in each of the 4 chain 4 spaces. We're going to skip the next stitch on our original motif, slip stitch into the next stitch, and then our second overlapping motif is complete. Isn't that cool? So we have the full motif and we have the one that looks overlapping. Now how we do motif 2 joining to the first motif is unique in its own, and now when I show you how to join the third motif, that's the one we'll repeat for the rest of the project. So we're going to turn our work now and slip stitch into each of the next 14 stitches, and you want to do this really loosely because we will end up working into some of these. So we'll slip stitch into each of the 8 stitches of that first section. Remember where we worked 8 double crochets into the chain 4 space? We're going to slip stitch across all 8 of those. Let's do it nice and loose. And then 6 of the next 8 section. So 8 plus 6 equals 14, which is why it says slip stitch into each of the next 14 stitches. Okay, so we've slip stitched into each of the next 14 stitches. We're going to chain 4. And now the rest of this motif 3, is identical to motif 2. We're going to skip 4 stitches and slip stitch into each of the next 5. Chain 4, turn our work, work a 3 double treble cluster in the chain 4 space, chain 4. We're going to do that for a total of 3 times. We'll end up having 3 petals. Whoops, I missed a... See what I was talking about? The tension, I had an extra wrap still on my hook. So yarn over 3 times and start each of the legs. And then yarn over, pull through all 4. Chain 4, 1 more cluster. If you prefer to follow charts, you can find that on my website. And if you prefer line-by-line instructions and definitions for all of these specialty stitches, that is also in the free pattern. Just go to the link in the video description. Okay, so we're ready to end this one, and we're going to chain 4, skip the next 2 stitches, and slip stitch into each of the next 3 stitches. And these are the ones that were slip stitched already, so that's why I was saying make sure they're loose, because this is where it could get a little bit more challenging to slip stitch into a stitch that's already slip stitched. So now we're ready to turn our work and work 8 double crochets in each chain 4 space across. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches and slip stitch into the last stitch. And there we have motif 3 of our overlapping flower motif. You want to follow the pattern to create the length for the choker, but keep in mind that this particular stitch pattern is gorgeous for all sorts of other types of projects. You could use this to make a guitar strap, a belt, any sort of edging on any kind of project. You could make a picture frame with this. You could edge the side of curtains. You could do a blanket edging, a shawl edging. I've actually made earrings out of this motif before. Look at it this way. If you did this in crochet wire and put your French hook here, and obviously did it smaller on smaller wire, this would make a beautiful earring. So really, the sky's the limit with what you can do with this type of beautiful edging that looks like it's motifs that you've joined with sewing when you really haven't. It's all been done continuously in one piece of thread. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please click your like button. Leave me a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for new videos.